Today, we have this beautiful story of the blind man and his healing. A couple thoughts I have for this. First, it's intriguing that Jesus asked the man, "What can I do for you?" It's kind of self-evident, right? Okay, yeah, I'm blind and I want to see. Can't you tell that? But yet Jesus asked him, "What do you want me to do for you?" And I think the reason for this is that the man needed to articulate his particular need to the Lord, right? So often we actually, we don't articulate. Sometimes we think the Lord's just going to provide for us or do, and we don't go to him and ask him for that particular grace, right? So I think that's very important for us from this gospel to know. No, Jesus wants us to ask him specifically, "This is my need right now. Come into my life and help me." Whatever that need is, whether it's to increase in faith or maybe a sense of joy, or maybe we're filled with anxiety or stress, lack of peace, or maybe there's a need to forgive. Whatever it is, ask Jesus. "Jesus, help me." Maybe it's a need to forgive ourselves. So many people struggle with forgiving themselves. And Jesus, Son of God, have mercy on me. That's one aspect I want to look at. The second is, as we look at this story, there's three main characters. There's Jesus, there's the blind man, and then there's the disciple that brought the blind man to Jesus. We might be called to be that disciple that brings the blind man to Jesus. How does that look? And what does that look like? Well, you may recall in your own life the different moments where you were really deeply struggling, and then someone came into your life to help you. And maybe they offered you a word of support, consolation, prayer. In an ideal situation, that person would say, "Hey, let me help you encounter Jesus." Maybe they lead us to Jesus in the Holy Eucharist. And maybe they say, "Oh, Jesus in the adoration, he's here and he's going to be able to speak to you. And I'll be right next to you and pray for you." Or maybe in that moment of where they offer their need, they actually said prayers with you, lifting you to the Lord and saying, I pray that Jesus can enter into that place of woundedness in your life. If you think about those moments, you can think about those people, give thanks to God for those people. But we are to be those people for others. And that's the challenge, I think. Who are those people in your life where you can help them encounter Jesus and his healing presence for them? How are you to do that? That's something that we need to think ahead of time. But we're called to be that disciple who brings people to Christ. And I think one of the best ways is for us just to become comfortable praying right then and there. When someone is expressing a hardship or a difficulty with us, and we're listening to them, and we say, "Can I pray with you that Jesus may move right now in your life in this moment?" What's keeping us from doing that? Right? I think maybe we're afraid we don't have the words, or maybe we're afraid we won't do it right, or whatever. We all have our own personal relationship with Christ, and whatever our words are, they're going to be words of prayer, and we're going to be talking to him. But I think the devil uses that fear to keep us paralyzed so that we can't bring people to Jesus. But what Jesus wants is for you to help someone to come to him, to encounter him. and to receive his healing. Interestingly, in the story with the man Bartimaeus, it says, as he went, the man followed Jesus on the way. That moment of healing changed the man to the point where he chose to change his life for Christ. He wasn't going to go back to his old ways. Obviously, he's able to see. No, he's going to actually follow Jesus in all the different ways that mentioned or means. And he followed him on the way. That would be our hope as well when we go and help people encounter Jesus, that they can walk with us along the way.